future's alive. Web3's calling, yeah, we're taking the dive. AI's in the code, lighting up the stream. Metaverse rising, living every dream. NFTs in our hands, a canvas so bold. Crypto's the key to a world untold. True Media Group, breaking through the noise. Tune in, turn up, it's the future, we rejoice. Future Watch, we're leading the way. Tomorrow's now, it's here to stay. From pixels to power, we're shaping the scene. True Media Group, the ultimate dream. Whoa, whoa. Digital skies where the avatars play. Blockchain's the pulse, paving out the highway. Synth with the bots, AI's got our back. Infinite realms, no turning back. NFTs in our hands, a canvas so bold. Crypto's the key to a world untold. The real uncommon voice, breaking through the noise. Tune in, turn up, it's the future we hold. Future Watch, we're leading the way. Tomorrow's now, it's here to stay. From pixels to power, we're shaping the scene. True Media Group, the ultimate dream. Whoa. Future Watch, the signal's clear. The revolution's now, it's here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Future Watch. And guess what? We've made it to episode number 4. Can you believe that? I can believe that. We are here. But today we are diving into the world of Fairside Network. What is Fairside Network? Well, I'm glad you asked. Fairside Network is a game changer in the Web3 space, and they've got your back in these crypto streets. So I want you to imagine a decentralized safety net shielding your digital wallet from scams and hacks. Fairside Networks got you covered. So they protect your hard-earned crypto with a community-driven vibe that screams innovation. So no more sleepless nights worrying about your assets getting drained. And tonight, here to give us more insight on this bold mission is Askar. He's not only a returning guest, he's also a trailblazer in the Web3 space. And he's joining us to unpack how they're rewriting the rules of security in this digital age. So from clever hacks to wallet draining nightmares, a bunch of different stories that can be had, we're going to cover it all and break it down in a simple way that we can all understand. On the show, we like to keep it nice and simple, not too complicated, so we're all on the same page. And also, later on in the program, Metabeast will be taking us on a journey to Decentraland on his own segment called Virtual Destinations. So kick back, relax, and let's find out how to stay safe in these crypto streets, because as we all know, times can get very ratchet and wild out there. But before we continue on with the show, let me say hi to my awesome co-hosts, Metabeast and Hinano. How are you, Hinano?
I'm doing good, D. Thanks so much. I'm a little bit tired. I just got in the door like 10 minutes ago, guys. So shout out to D for taking the front run of the show. Thank you so much for the audience for showing up. People are watching the replay. Askar is actually a returning guest. He was on Aloha Friday, but that's more of kind of like a Joe Rogan style kind of talk story session. So I'm glad he's here. You guys already know this is like, Web3 made simple for you folks. And so I'm so stoked that he's on. And we don't want to waste any more time because I know his time is precious. So let's get him in the studio right now. The Metabeast is also having some issues with his audio, guys. So he's going to be trying to work on that while we get to his segment. So let's get the guest in, D.
All right, let's do it. Let's bring him on.
Go. ladies and gentlemen from Fairside Network, Askar. How you doing today, man?
Good. How about you guys?
Oh, not too bad.
Tax
Not
day.
too bad. Tax
Oh,
day for
yes.
sure. I know
Beautiful day.
exactly.
Beautiful day. Tax day.
You look like you're drained from the tax day, man. Is
Yeah,
there an
man. I
insurance
love
for
it.
tax day?
Right?
No,
Does
there's
that cover
nothing
it?
for that. There's nothing for that. I'm just waiting to wake up again. Go to sleep and wake up again. Just
Well,
submitted it though, so we're all good on that note.
we'll
Whew,
try not to
guys.
put you to sleep today, man. But we want to thank you for giving us your time. I know you came on the show before, and you're back again. And so what the show's about here, Askar, is we try to simplify Web3 for a lot of the normies like us. A lot of our audience is from the digital collecting community, but they have crypto wallets. And some of
Mm.
them's been scammed, some of them haven't. So like having you here to kind of break it down for them, I think is a very valuable thing. So we want to appreciate you for giving us your time today. I know time's precious, tax day, and you look very tired, man. So
No, I'm okay. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun last time, so it was kind of a no-brainer to come back on.
well, we'll try to keep the vibes the same way. But I'm just going to go straight to it, if you don't mind, and start
Mm. Yeah.
asking some questions. And just so you know, I believe D has signed up for the platform. Yes, I've been dragging my feet, but that is something that I want to do as well. But like, I'm pretty sure after today, I'll be more convinced than ever. But let's get started right now. And let me ask you just a very simple question right off the bat, mainly for the
Yeah.
audience is, what exactly is Fairside Network, and how does it help someone new to cryptocurrencies to keep their assets safe?
Yeah. So we are the first and only retail wallet theft coverage platform. So basically, if you sign up for a coverage and you get drained, you get paid, right? In this space, historically, there has been nothing for small fish. Everything has been built insurance wise or coverage wise for bigger fish. What that means is there is coverage for smart contracts, there's coverage for exchanges, for bigger platforms, but no one has really tried to tackle the inevitable problem of people getting drained and creating coverage for that. Every other market has coverage: health, car, house, pets, even famous celebrities' body parts like Messi's leg. Everything
Really?
has insurance. Yeah, yeah, they all get it insured
I
because
mean, we have
if something
lava over
happens.
here, if you ever heard of that.
No, never heard of that
Yeah,
actually.
we got lava insurance over here, man. We live on an island with an active volcano.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Lava. I mean, yeah, that's actually kind of funny. I've never really had to purchase lava.
it's
So
expensive, man. I don't live in a
really?
lava zone, so I'm good. Yeah, yeah. But
Oh, that's,
yeah, we live on the north side. Like on the south side of the island is kind of like where you're in the lava zone, depending on
yeah.
where the eruption's at. But yeah, we
Mm.
got lava insurance here.
Well, I'm glad you guys got that too. You need insurance for everything. If there's lava insurance, then there's a no-brainer that coverage, drain coverage should exist as well. So yeah, that's a little snippet about Fairside.
Awesome. And to kind of continue on that, kind of tell us, how does fair size protection work? And is it easy for beginners to kind of set up?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty straightforward. You figure out how much of your portfolio you want to cover. You want to cover a quarter ETH. That's the minimum that you can cover. You want to cover, 4 ETH, 5 ETH. If you want to cover up to 10 ETH, you just kind of slide that scaler when you go to Fairside, and you can go to app.fairside.io. And after you connect your wallet, you're able to kind of input how much you want, and then you pay 1.95% of that amount. So roughly 2%. So let's say you have a $10,000 wallet, 2% of that is $200, and then you have coverage for the rest of the year. So you have it for one whole year, 2%, right? So you give people kind of an idea of how much that is a day for a $10,000 port at $200 fee for the year. That's only 54 cents a day, right? So it's that simple. And then afterwards, you can also add up to 10 wallets per membership. That way, you don't have to buy a membership for every single wallet that you have on Solana, on Bitcoin, on other L2s and the such. You just buy the membership and you add your wallets and you're good. There's no KYC until after you need to actually submit a claim, which we just use a third party for, just to make sure that we have our first line of defense for fraud. But yeah, as basic as that. You input how much you want, you pay roughly 2% for that year, and then you add your wallets, and then you can kind of carefree move on with your life.
And D, you can kind of attest to this, right? Kind of give the audience the idea of the process as Askar just kind of explained.
Well, okay, so I didn't completely complete the process because okay, so I went through I went through all the steps that you mentioned and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need more ETH." And I was like trying to calculate how much I needed to put so I could cover it, and I didn't get past that part. So that's my homework. I need to put in more ETH so that
We own Bitcoin, so
yeah,
we don't have a lot of ETH.
yeah, so I can cover that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the only thing that's stopping me. So I got to do some conversions and then I can complete the process because yes, I it's something I need to do and not just kind of like let it lag because anything can happen at any point in time. And also I believe you can cover up to 10 different wallets, right?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
cover up to 10 different wallets. And also, I mean, what your struggle with or hurdle was is honestly a fair hurdle. And that's why it's not out yet. We'll be allowing you to kind of purchase with Stripe and your credit card. That way you don't need to always have ETH on you. So it's not out yet. We've just been testing it since our last call on Aloha Friday. So once that's out, hopefully that'll mitigate the issue for some people, and including yourself.
Yes. Okay. That'll make it a lot more simpler. I mean, I know we should all kind of educate ourselves in learning more about the different cryptos and how to, swap and bridge networks together. But just having that like Web 2 option of being able to use a credit card, that does make it easier just for like a normal person to be able to purchase this insurance and cover their Web3 assets. So yeah, can't wait for that to come out. I think you'll have a lot more customers signing up more easily. Yeah. So can we any ETAs on when that we can expect that, or you're not
Probably
sure?
less than a month. Less than a month. So that's
Oh.
probably yeah. So we'll be fairly quick within the next few weeks, hopefully.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna ask one of my questions that I had. So when you talked about, offering decentralized coverage for things like wallet drains and scams, like, can you give us an example of how you do that? Like, give us like an experience or story that you can share with the audience on so they can better understand.
Yeah. So I think there's a good way to kind of go about it is for us what we do cover and what we don't cover. I think it's really important first that people understand that we don't cover everything in this space, right? That could result in you losing money. What we do cover are most drain events under the umbrellas of phishing and social engineering. And a little mnemonic that we have is, we fight for you like the MMA. And MMA stands for the three type of loss events under the phishing and social engineering umbrellas that we do cover. So the first M stands for malicious transaction. So you sign a transaction that you were not supposed to sign because you thought it was impersonating something else. The other M stands for malware. If malware gets installed on your hard wallet or on your laptop or on your phone, and it exposes your seed phrases and they drain your whole account. And then the third is A stands for address poisoning. So kind of MMA, those are the three main loss events that we do cover. There are actually, edge cases that we do cover, and that's kind of a case by case basis. But for people to really understand what we focus on, it is those three, the MMA that we fight for. That way people can understand that our coverage focuses on when you get drained, when you're kind of wandering the Wild West, right, in Web3. And when you're doing that, those are the general cases. Now, there are things we don't cover, like gross negligence or basically forms of gambling, like rug pulls we don't cover. It also is only meant for the wallets that you control. So you have a custodian account on Coinbase, right? Those are not your keys directly. So we don't really cover any kind of problems that occur there or drains that occur there. We also don't cover smart contract hacks because we are not a coverage platform for smart contracts. So I think what people really need to capture from this is that we're not a one-stop solution for coverage in crypto. We're the only solution that exists for personal drains, right? And that's what the MMA kind of helps, hopefully stick in people's heads to remember what we do and don't cover.
Okay, so let's. I'm glad you told me. You explained that very thoroughly. So, kind of give us the process. If my crypto gets stolen, what's the process of, how do we go through filing a claim? How does Fairside decide if I get a payout, and how long does it take? Can you kind of give us the process if by some chance we had to use the services because something nefarious happened to us?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a few steps only. Once you purchase your membership at any point in time during the activity of your membership, you're allowed to file a claim. And if you go to our website after you have purchased membership, you're able to click file claim. When you file a claim, we basically need you to dive as deep as possible as what happened to you. So first, we ask you for the story. 2, we ask you for all the transaction, the block scanner links, right? On Etherscan and SoulScan, etc. And then 3, we ask you for all your details on the assets that you lost. So even if you lost NFTs, we actually ask you to give us a valuation at the time of loss as well. And we funnel all that. And then afterwards, you have to do a KYC process. This is the only time you KYC. It goes through a third-party platform called Synapse. And you guys can look them up. They're kind of a globally renowned KYC platform that is very secure and verified for allowing users to KYC globally. So that way we can actually provide services for people not just in the US or in the West, right? And then after you KYC, and our investigators get a hold of that information, knowing that whether or not you KYC'd or not, the investigator goes through and reveals and reads everything that you've submitted. Most of the time, the investigator actually has more questions. So we communicate in email, asking as many questions as possible. And sometimes it can take, a few days for the investigator to be like, okay, I kind of got everything. This seems straightforward, as drain as possible. And sometimes they become pretty complicated or sometimes ambiguous, because sometimes for people who got drained, they understand what happened, but it's hard to relay that information to someone else. So after that communication is done, the investigator creates a whole report based off your KYC, based off the information you provided, based off the drain. And then there is a separation, kind of a checks and balances in a way for power, where the investigator provides the report to a governance board on our team that will then read the report, and they vote on whether or not the payout should be paid out. And based off the report, based off their own kind of deliberation, then we send the individual a email saying whether or not you've been paid out. And after we do pay out, they can also appeal on whether or not their NFTs, for example, got valued appropriately.
That was my next question. Is I was wondering if you guys actually cover the NFTs besides crypto. It sounds like that's a yes.
Yeah, we cover anything crypto related. So fungibles, non-fungibles, RWAs. It's less about what we cover, because we cover everything. It's more about how you got drained and when you got drained and on what blockchains you got drained. So we cover 12 plus chains right now, and we're working to add more as long as those chains are eligible to be used on our investigation tools. And when it comes to NFTs, I know that's sometimes a sticky topic. We have our own kind of NFT valuation system where we dive deeper or dig deeper for certain NFTs based on, how valuable they are and the IP that's associated with them. So for example, there are a lot of KOLs or just people in the space that them kind of reference based off their PFP, right? And their PFP is where they build a brand off of. So when we're evaluating NFTs, it's not just about the most recent sales or highest recent bids and traits with or NFTs with similar traits that have been sold around the same price, which we do, of course, take into factor into play. But it also can take subjective things like the IP in play as well. So we really want to just not let you worry about what assets you're holding in crypto, and more about not getting drained, right? So you don't have to worry about, this part is not drained and this part is drained or not.
That's really good, because that really makes you feel a little bit better when you go to sleep. I mean, I know a lot of people in this. So we come from the digital collecting community, and I know a lot of people that got scammed. There's even some reputable projects where their Discord gets compromised, and then there's like links over there with wallet drainers. So I can see that if people knew about your services before that happened, they probably would have been better off. Metabeast, are you able to speak? Are you still unable to speak? Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yay!
Yes.
Hello. Good. Hello, everybody. So,
Welcome.
thank you. I do have a couple questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So
Please.
I saw something called address poisoning. That's not a term I've ever heard of. What can you explain a little bit more on what that is?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's probably one of the more niche drain events. These attackers are getting more and more creative. If only they put that towards better things in life. But on block scanners, when you go to such as Etherscan, when you go and look at your own address, you can see the history of transactions includes other addresses that you've been sending to. And people often have multiple addresses that they use, and therefore there's a high frequency of transactions associated with those wallets. So sometimes when they want to go and send a transaction to one of their wallets, instead of having it saved in their address book on MetaMask or any other wallet provider, sometimes they go to Etherscan and copy that address. However, these attackers got creative, right? So you might know the first 3 letters or the first 3 characters of your address. So what they will do is that because the Etherscan truncates those addresses, the attackers will send a bunch of transactions with the same, first 4 or 5 similar characters and the same 4 or 5 last characters, and flood your history with it. So when you're quickly just moving to and going through your Etherscan and clicking and copying and pasting that address, you don't really pay attention or memorize the middle characters, paste it and send it. And there's nothing that's going to be caught on any of these wallet providers. Actually, there are new ways where now wallet providers will be like, hey, this is an address you've never sent to before. So are you sure? And so MetaMask and other wallet providers actually do have some sort of safe, guardrails. But at the end of the day, they don't really know who you're trying to send to, right? Only you do. So that's kind of address poisoning, where they poison the history of your history of your transactions on block scanners, if that makes sense.
It does, especially I can recognize, kind of like you said, the first few on the front end and the first few on the back end of at least one of my wallets. But
yeah, there's many ways to mitigate that. I mean, obviously having crypto domains such as ENS on your wallets. Very much more importantly is that if you are actually interacting with a wallet frequently, just please add it to your address book, right? Most of these wallet providers, if not all, now have wallet address books, contact books on your inside. So if this is one of your 10 wallets, like take literally 3 minutes of your day, add in every single wallet, and don't get fooled, right? It's not a common drain, but it's a drain that I've spoken to probably at least 3 or 4 people in the past 2-3 weeks that have came out and spoke to me and be like, yeah, actually this happened to me too. And sometimes it's as silly as, in the moment you're like interacting with a smart contract in your own address and you pasted the smart contract address instead of your own address and you're sending money there too. So there are ways to safeguard that besides also moving slowly, double checking. But besides that, that's the third kind of form that's in the MMA.
Everybody's in such a hurry. I do have another question, or your thoughts on it. A while back, so somebody had a contest where they gave like 12 sentences or things or some of such, and within each of those was at least one seed or word from a seed phrase to a wallet. And whoever discovered the phrase first would win what was ever in that wallet. Sounds all great. However, in my attempts, I opened like 3 wallets. None of them had the coins in it or the token, which that's made me wonder how difficult is it really to unlock a seed phrase.
So it's a good question. However, it is very, very, very difficult. So if you take all the standard words, and I think depending on the number of words in the seed phrase, 12 or 24, even some of them have more, it becomes very exponentially difficult to guess a seed phrase. So I think maybe someone could correct me if I'm wrong, is when you're putting in those random combination of those words, it was actually creating a new wallet, which is why it was empty. If it was completely empty, the odds that you were going to actually select a wallet that has already been created is actually very significantly low. And the fact that it's happened, quote, 3 times means that you're probably creating new wallets rather than finding 3 wallets. Because if those were wallets with actually some sort of cryptocurrencies in them, I'll say go buy a goddamn lottery ticket right now. You have some insane luck. So I think it was just more so creating new wallets, and I don't think that's something you should worry about. You do touch upon something tangentially, is that we also don't cover scenarios where you reveal your seed phrase indirectly or directly. So I'm going to kind of take a tangent on that, where let's say you have 2 different types of social engineering attacks, where somebody poses as a Coinbase employee, and then they send you a link that looks like a Coinbase official link, and instead it's a phishing link, and they make you click on it and you lose access to your assets. That's what we cover. That's the first M, malicious transactions. But let's say you have that same social engineering attack, and maybe you're not having the best day, and they tell you, say, hey, show us your seed phrase so we can access your wallet and fix whatever, and for some reason you do that. We don't cover that. Those are both social engineering attacks, but one is gross negligence, one is kind of semi-negligence, where many people all the time get fooled by clicking a normal link, right? So I just kind of wanted to touch upon that when you brought up seed phrases as well, is that exposing your seed phrase directly or indirectly to an individual where it's kind of your own volition is not something we usually cover. But malware that exposes your seed phrase is different, that we do cover, which is the second M.
Yeah, it's been so long in the space. I would hope everybody knows not to give those up. But,
well, everyone shouldn't drink and drive, but they still do. So
that's true.
That's a good point.
We still click links that we probably normally, if we would have slowed down, we probably wouldn't have clicked either.
Hey, don't drink, drive, and show your seed phrase. That's it. That's
exactly. Don't expose yourself. It can be physically and digitally.
Pause. No. D, go ahead. You're muted, D.
Sorry, I got the little dude with me. Yeah, so I know that Fairside is designed and built by the community. So I was just curious, like, who's in the community, like from testimonials or things like that? Are we talking about like crypto enthusiasts? Are they developers, or like just everyday users who's just trying to stay safe online?
ChatGPT told us to put that in, so it's fake. No, I'm kidding. The point that is community build is actually the way we go about paying out claims. It's actually pretty unique in the sense that we have a liquidity pool that we've launched on Abstract, and when we pay out claims, it actually comes from that liquidity pool. That liquidity pool was first seeded by us, of course, like most products need to seed it their own way. But the goal is, and what's happening right now, is that every single time someone purchases a membership, a little bit more than half of that membership premium goes to the pool. And the overarching idea of how we go about paying out claims and kind of changing the face of traditional insurance is that our claim pool is comprised of users' memberships, and those pay out claims. So we as a community have an incentive to not want others to get drained and to help others out, especially if you have purchased Fairside membership in the past, because your membership is connected to paying out claims, right? So our liquidity pool is directly tied to the social network effect that we have of people joining into Fairside. And also you can stake ETH into our liquidity pool and receive a Fairside token, which we don't really talk much about right now because we don't want people to get confused about our product and the token. But the token is actually a utility token that does pay out an APY based off the premiums. So the idea is that people stake ETH and the memberships come in, and a portion of that membership goes back into that pool, and that pool is actually what's used to pay out claims. So when we say we're community built, we are in the sense that the more people that purchase memberships, the more we have a fund to pay out claims in general.
Okay, so it's it sounds like it's like a when you're in a housing community, like a association, right? And you have to pay like some association fees kind of thing, and they put it into the pool to pay for stuff in the community. That's kind of what it sounds like. Okay,
pretty similar. Nice. It's a good analogy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about the Fair token, but it sounds like we'll just keep that under wraps for now. But so essentially, who's using the service right now? Like, is there any big projects that you're covering right now? Is there any big names that you can kind of tell us? Kind of like maybe to kind of like put our audience at ease that you already have some big names or some big players. I don't know if there's some DeFi projects you can talk about, but who's using the service right now?
We have the real Hinano, D, and Metabeast.
That's all you need to know, audience. That's all you need to know.
Besides us.
In terms of memberships, I don't think I actually don't know exactly in terms of which wallets correlate to who, right? But I do know what I can talk about are their partnerships. And we're very proud of our major and our first partnership was that on our launch day, we partnered and launched with Revoke.cash. I think most people know Revoke.cash, but if you don't, no worries. Revoke.cash is the only platform that not only, but is one of the biggest Ethereum dApps that allow you to check all your approvals on your wallet and let you revoke those approvals. And for those who don't really understand what that means as well, is that every single time you interact with a dApp on Ethereum or any other chain, for the most part, besides abstract and stuff, they create a approval to move the assets on your wallet so that you don't have to approve it every single time you do a transaction. And that has good intentions, but at times platforms do get hacked. And as a result, those approvals are still there. And then malicious actors who hack that platform can then use those approvals to drain your wallet. So Revoke.cash allows you to go onto their website, just search your wallet, connect your wallet, and then check all your approvals. So we partner with them. And right now, if you go to Revoke.cash, when you type in any address, we are the only new tab that they added from a third party. So there's a coverage tab that says, when you click on it with your address, if you don't have a membership, it'll give you a nice spiel on what we do and how we cover. And then if you do have a membership, it'll actually show you some details as well. And the goal for Revoke is to eventually have that coverage tab not just be for personal drain thefts, but also for covering smart contracts, covering you, and kind of make it a holistic coverage experience. So for those who have never seen me before, which is 99.99% of people, and you've never heard of Fairside, which is 99.99% of people, hopefully that you have heard of Revoke, because that's a partnership we've been working on for months before we launched, and we're really proud of that.
That's awesome. This guy is just blasting through every single question I've had here. I mean, I know you're tired. I know you just went through the tax, man, and you've just been in spades right here. So I appreciate that. So I want to talk about the future of Fairside. You're saying right now, not a lot of people know. We got 120 eyeballs now beginning to absorb who you guys are. But let's just say in the next 5 years, where do you see your project going? What's the specific mission from now until then? And kind of give us a scope for our audience of where you guys plan to be.
I think generally the way people answer this question is like, we want like 1 million users covered. We want 10 million users covered. I think those numbers are great and all, but they're just so wishy-washy. only God knows where you head. I think a really good litmus test of our success in 5 years is anyone who has heard of us, trust us. Trust is really hard to earn. It's easy to get all these inflated numbers. It's easy to say we have $10 million in portfolio that has been covered. We can inflate that with KOLs, wallets, and stuff like that. Those numbers can be, amended a little bit. However, the one thing you can't force upon people is their perception of trust on you, right? If you take a sample size of crypto Twitter in general, and you ask them, do you trust us? Do you trust them to cover your platform? Do you think they're actually a good insurance/coverage platform? They're going to give you your raw thoughts, and you can't buy your way out of that. So in 5 years, if we can say that we are a trusted name in the space without us needing to even advertise that we have high quality, I don't want us to ever go out there and be like, you need us because we're the best of the best, and we're going to try to showcase our quality. I just want the people to speak for themselves. We want to be pay out 100% of claims. We want people to feel that there is an actual fallback in the space. And until we reach that sense of security and trust, I don't think we're successful. So when we reach that, I think we will be successful.
In a nutshell, got you. Okay. And you're right. Trust is a big thing in this space. And Dee and I have been in this space for about 2 years or so. We've been live streaming for 2 years. And the one thing that we always wanted to make sure that when we're on camera, that we're not fake, that we're real. And then what we're at least trying to do is give you the best, content out there with that level of trust. I mean, we don't like to lie here. We're normies for the Web3 space. And that's the beauty of what we're trying to do here in this specific show, is to bring the normies to you. A lot of the digital collecting space or the normies that have wallets, maybe they just signed up 3 months ago and they got their first NFT, or they're just getting into crypto now because things are changing in US. A lot of them don't know a lot about Web3, a lot about you, a lot about crypto coverage and stuff like that. So I really like what you guys are doing here. And I like the fact that right there you said, we're not successful until, we're able to do what we're doing on our mission and we're trusted. And so that's a really big thing for us right here. That's why, people wonder why we have the name Real in it. It's because we want people to trust us. So I appreciate you for answering all the questions. You blasted right through them. I'm going to ask my co-host if you have anything to ask Askar, because I think we've had you here for 40 minutes. I know you're tired. And then I'm good.
I submitted the taxes. I got time.
Well, I'm going to give you the floor after, and I just would like for you to explain whatever you want. I want to give you an open stage, an open mic for you to kind of give whatever spiel you want right now. We have 130 people watching, and basically that's 130 people that you can give a message to. But I want to give a chance to my co-host Metabeast. You have anything you want to ask Askar?
Yeah, I do. One more, I guess, quick thing. Do you guys do any kind of education type stuff for people who sign up to help them protect themselves better, so that they don't have to cash in on with you guys?
You're the second person that asked me that today, and it's a really good point. Right now as a startup, we have kind of a focus of we finally launched. It's been a month. We've been working on this product for over 2 years, and now we're trying to get signups. I think the education piece is really important. We try to do a snippet of that in terms of educating people on our product on Revoke. So if you go on Revoke and you go to the coverage tab, we don't actually click a get coverage now button immediately after you read. We actually force you to do a quiz, because we want to educate you on whether or not you actually did read through and know what we did and don't cover. What's really important is that at the end of the day, in order to pay out 100% of claims, our messaging has to be on the dot. What that means is that you can click one little button that says, click this button and get covered when you're surfing Web3. But if we don't explain any details, the odds are that people are going to get drained for things they shouldn't be filing a claim for. And they're going to come to us. And when we deny them, they're going to be like, dude, what the hell? And even though it's not our fault because it was in our terms and conditions, we didn't message that correctly. So the education that we do right now is really trying to get people to understand what we do and don't cover. Metabeast, you bring up a good point that someone else also brought up today, is that on our platform, I think we're going to think a little bit more, and I spoke with the team already a little bit today, about how to get users to understand the preventative measures in crypto better, because there's a host of things, and I talk about them when I go in other spaces and stuff. You have to use Revoke. Wallet Guard is great. The different wallet providers you use are great. Obviously, you need a hardware wallet. There's a host of things you can do. So we're definitely going to look into having something directly on our website. And then the long-term goal is to kind of emulate what traditional insurance does. One of the few things they do well is that they will give you a discount on your premium if you use, or if you reach certain criteria. So for example, in car insurance, if you have a teenager and they're doing well in school, they give you a discount because they know that usually correlates with better driving. The same idea we want in our space is that if we can prove, I think that's the thing that's a little bit hard right now, is that if we can prove that the user is using Revoke, or the user has Revoke.cash extension installed, they are using Wallet Guard, they are using a host of tools that do help you prevent carry risk as well, prevent you from getting drained, then we can give you discounts on the premium. Because at the end of the day, we want the premium to tend to become cheaper, and we want the number of drains to also drop, right? So yeah, the education content directly isn't on there yet. That's something we're definitely working on, and as we kind of re-envision the DApp experience.
That is cool. Yeah, great question, Metabeast. Yeah, and when you guys have that ready, we'll be watching videos. The more visuals that's what kind of turns people and makes it easier just to have like a visual aspect and be educated more and make it kind of fun. We don't want to get you don't want to go and watch a video and you're like just bored out of your mind while you're trying to keep, stay safe. Yeah, so looking forward to that.
You bring up a good point. I think that's what we're trying to do with Doggy Daddy.
Gonna mention
with Doggy.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do with
Do we
Doggy
get to see
Daddy.
the commercial again?
Yeah, go ahead. You can pull it up. I think it's on their account, Doggy Daddy. I can pull up on mine, but if you type in Doggy Daddy HQ, that's their account. Or also if you go to, you can stay on this account and go to media on the account.
Okay. Yeah,
I think on the account we posted the video on there. But yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do, is that with Doggy Daddy, it's kind of a lighthearted character, like his father that has only his dog because he lost everything. I think if you scroll down even more,
this one,
go a little bit further.
Okay,
a little bit further. So if you look at that one, go up
right
a little
here.
bit. No, a little bit further up too. There's a new one. I don't know if
This
we
one
watched
right
the last one. Yeah, this one's like a education content one. Let's see if it works.
All right, let me. Oh, you know what? I got to share my sound real quick. Let me get it right back. Sorry about that. YouTubery, guys, it happens. Sometimes you just got to do things on the
security
fly.
permissions. All the security permissions. See, even YouTube's.
Okay,
stepping up their game.
I know.
Yeah,
there we go.
Doggy
All right.
Daddy, for those who don't know, is like our fun character that tries to add like a lighthearted approach to coverage and insurance. Because this things I'm talking about can get pretty dry. So Doggy Daddy is kind of the opposite.
Now this is good. All right, guys. Here is Doggy Daddy. Let's see if we can play this for you guys.
Let's talk phishing scams. A crypto phishing scam is a ruthless attempt to steal all of your money coins. How? A combo of deception, FOMO, and malicious code designed to trick you into clicking a dangerous link. Scammers lurk on platforms like X, impersonating legitimate projects or influencers. They post urgent opportunities that seem too good to pass up. These opportunities can feel exciting, like maybe you just found a secret. But if you act now, your life might just change forever. And 2 clicks later, it does. Remember, in crypto, there's no customer service hotline. Move slow, check twice. Don't let FOMO be your guide. Fairside, wallet coverage for trains, scams, and more.
I swear that guy looks like my computer teacher from 5th grade, Mr. Hub.
Everyone gets scammed. Anyone can get scammed.
Yeah, that was cool.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, I love that
Metabeast.
video. I love that video personally, but I did not make that. I cannot take any credit for that whatsoever.
I just want to add to the people out listening to is, if you do get scammed, don't be ashamed of it. It happens to the best of us. Don't shame people for it.
Yeah.
Also, That's become a
Yes,
thing, which
agreed.
is ridiculous and just crazy, in my opinion. But I feel it's best that when something does come along, that let it be known, because it might be something new that's getting people, and the more we know, the safer everyone else can be. So
Yeah,
if
no,
I find out
wise words.
somebody's Twitter account's been hacked or whatnot, I will I announce it on I do a post. I've come across a duplicate of somebody's, and I'll do do a post and at that person, along with any names that I recognize that I see are also following this fake person. So as a community, we need to help each other out in this way too. Help keep ourselves secure.
And shout out to Richard in the chat. Now I got to tell you, Askar, Richard, he's been a part of our community for a long time, but he has been screaming at the gills about security for an entire year. That we did a security live stream with him and Michael K last year, and you actually came on our annual security thing that we like to do here on the channel. So, but he has been a big supporter of you guys. He's constantly always trying to help our community that really doesn't know about protection. To kind of like, protect yourself, follow the right rules, follow the steps, do a wallet guard, maybe take a look at Fairside and stuff like that. And I found it very interesting that you said you've only been around for a month. The project started a month ago.
So we've been around as a company for over 2 years, but it takes a while to build all the aspects of a coverage/insurance platform. You have to get the actuaries to build an actuarial model, which is for people who don't know, these are the probabilistical models that insurance companies use to build out how much to pay everyone in what scenarios, et cetera, to keep them even slightly profitable. Otherwise, the whole company collapse. You can't just kind of go off vibes for building a model for insurance. And then we have all the smart contract stuff, all the logistics, all the investigation stuff. So over those 2 years, all the pieces of the puzzles have finally come together. So in terms of the coverage has now been live for, over roughly a month now.
How does it feel? I mean, like 2 years you guys been here, you're kind of finally getting your voice. You guys are out here. We know about you guys now. How does it feel that you finally get to launch, I guess, essentially like your baby?
I mean, no more foreplay, right? It's fun. It's too long. It's fantastic because every single time we spoke about it or talk with partners, talk with distributors, it's always about like, hey, when do we launch,
Yeah.
right? And at one point, the longer you take, the more fake it feels like. It feels like it's never going to be reached or attained. To be fair, I've been here for around, I've been talking with the team for 8 months now, and I've been working on it for 4 to 5 months. So I haven't been here the whole 2 years. So I can't act like I got the scars on me. I was had my own company elsewhere doing that and developing scars there. So, but I can tell from the other members of the team, the scars were accumulating, and it's a sigh of relief. And now the whole focus has shifted from the tech to the marketing, to tech to the trust. I think tech to trust is the whole thing now, because everyone else, within the same team, we all focus on the tech, and we all know how it's going to work. Now we got to get everyone to trust us, and that's honestly harder than the tech itself.
100%. I completely agree. And I know what that feels like about the trust part right there. We've had you for about 50 minutes. I'm going to give you the floor for whatever final words you want to give our audience. We have about 150 people watching. So I'm going to give our co-host one more go at trying to ask you something. You've pretty much gone through all my questions, and this has been a really awesome conversation. I really dig your vibe. And,
thank you. You too.
Absolutely, man. And over here, we have a revolving door. So if you ever want to come in and out of here, you're always welcome. And, we're really big on trying to perpetuate this space. You know what I mean? Because if this space gets perpetuated, then the opportunities and everything that goes along with this space moves forward with everyone in it. And so that is our big mission here for True Media Group, is to really push this space forward, specifically the Web3 space. So Metabeast, anything else that you want to ask Askar before we let him go?
No, that was great. I learned a few things here tonight, so I appreciate it. Anybody who's trying to help us keep safe out there, greatly appreciated. I fortunately haven't had a ton, but I've gotten some stuff taken once or twice myself from stupid things. So appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah, no. D?
I just want to say thank you, Askar, for coming on and, just sharing with us, educating us, and being free to, just answer our questions. I did want to ask, as here on our shows, and, we are also really big into promoting and just getting like word out on the streets and stuff about projects, people's, whatever they're into. So how can we help the project get like more exposure, more word out on the streets? Like, how can we help you help us, kind of thing?
I mean, every single time we can convince someone to buy coverage, you're really protecting them, right? At the end of the day, though, you need to go through the process. I would love for you guys to go through the process. I would love everyone here to go through the process. I think this is what I wanted to nail on before I leave, is that in order for me to join this team, I had to speak with them for a few months, because I didn't want to join a project that I didn't have full conviction in. And the same should go for D, Real, Metabeast, for you guys, and then for everyone else listening, is that you should not buy our coverage until you're confident. And it doesn't take too much due diligence, but it does take some diligence. So please just take about 5-10 minutes, go to app.fairside.io, go fairside.io, read about us, and then every single question that you have, send it to me personally at 0x Askar, or you can send it to us on the Fairside. I check that all the time. I'm being serious. Like, you can ask me whatever. I've had a few spaces now where people just ask me afterwards, and we have some long conversations. You should have doubts. You should have a little bit of hesitations. I did, and I had it for a few months. It is normal, and we're trying to be a coverage company, an insurance company. That is exactly the type of company that people have doubts about, right? The thing is, you do need coverage. Whether or not it comes from us, you do need it, all right? Everyone needs it. It's a little egotistical to think you don't need it, and I am one of those people, and I say that a little straightforward because I am one of those people. Even when I was talking with this company, I was like, this is a great idea for everyone but me. Like, I don't need to pay that 2%. And that was actually my mentality for the first 3-4 months. And I had to eventually, listen to a lot of, when I been getting into this company, I had to listen to a lot of people's stories. And there are people who are a lot smarter than me, a lot more educated than me. And when I heard how they got drained, it basically humbled me. And I have almost gotten drained twice now, and one very closely. And sometimes you forget about those, especially if you haven't gotten drained in that moment. And you just got to humble yourself a little bit. So I'm not trying to say that you need to purchase coverage tonight, purchase coverage tomorrow, even purchase coverage from us. Coverage is a necessity, and I want you to do your DD on us, and I want you to kind of shit on us as much as possible. Reach out to my DM, say, no, I think this is wrong. I don't think you guys have to prove this, you have to prove that, and I will answer to the best of my ability. And then if not, I will definitely talk with the team. And we've had a lot of great conversations with some other people from spaces where they've actually influenced some parts of the way we design our DApp, influenced the way we go about our marketing and messaging. Again, it's a community product in terms of the liquidity pool, but it's also a community product in terms of the way that we build and market this. So please reach out, be harsh, be straightforward. No offense is taken. If anything, the only offense I get taken if you sugarcoat your responses. So I appreciate you guys having your time, taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And nice meeting you as well, Metabeast. I don't think we met before.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Before you go, I want to thank you, and I appreciate that about doing your due diligence, and that's part of the reason why when we had you on last, you kind of said that you'd come back and kind of like give me the full detail of what you're all about. And that was me doing my due diligence, because I mean, I could go onto your website, I could read a bunch of documentation, but I'm a people person and I want to actually interact, socialize. I want to get to know you. I want to see your
100%.
interactions when I ask you these questions. I want to see your passion. And I can tell that not only are you 100% on board with this project, but you have a passion for it. You have a passion for the security that's involved with this, and for the people that work in here. I can see all that. I can see it whenever I mean, look, you're tired. You just saw the tax man. You're over here talking to a bunch. I don't even know where you are, what time it is, but like over here, there's still daylight over here. So I want to appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much. The audience, I know, appreciates you. We have 150 eyeballs watching you right now. More on the replay. I want to give you your final moments here. Your time. The floor is yours, Askar. Go right ahead and give our audience one last message.
All I have to say is that every time I hear someone's story, it is devastating. There are normies who get drained. And there are these gurus that I speak to, and some I don't reveal their names, and they get drained as well. And every single person says that it's one of the worst things that happened to them. Now, it seems like I'm fear-mongering, and honestly, maybe, but it is true. It is reality. This is what happens in this space, especially that it's so unregulated. It's a Wild West. It's a digital Wild West. But also something I want to point out is that we are just a coverage. We are a fallback. What's sometimes equally, if not more important at times, is using other tools that prevent it. So please use Revoke. Please use Wallet Guard. Please look into Kerberos. These tools are fantastic. And if you don't know what those are, please message me, and I'll give you a list of tools that all the security experts in our community really like. Those are equally, if not more important, because yeah, you can get covered if you get drained, but what's the point of that if you're constantly getting drained? And you're not preventing it in the first place. So, I want to put a lot of emphasis, if not equal emphasis, on those tools. And if you're not really familiar with those, I mean, I'll be glad to come back one day and just talk about those tools. We don't have to talk about Fairside. Yeah. Just have a whole segment where we talk about all these preventative tools. Those are equally as important. So coverage is one end, and then the other end is just preventative tools. So appreciate you guys having me again. It was really fun to chat. Nice to meet you guys as well. And nice meeting you as well, Metabeast, and have a good night over there.
We'll be talking in the DMs. I love that. And I love the fact that you're being very reachable. And I want to tell our audience as well, if you want to reach him, here is his profile right here on X, as well as Fairside on X. And then here is also the website he was talking about, app.fairside.io. Go check them out, you guys. And right on, Askar. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys again. Say hi to that little one. Have a good night, everyone. Ciao.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Aloha.
This has been awesome. That was Askar from Fairside, guys. That was an awesome conversation. I hope you guys took a lot of good value out of the conversation right there, because security in this space is a must. You guys already know that. We've had Richard on here twice already. We've had Michael K. Previously from Wallet Guard. My understanding now it's Consensus. And now we had Askar on twice. So we're big on security, and I love the fact that he was very human with everybody. And that's a big thing in this space, is to be real and authentic. How'd you guys think everything went so far? Metabeast, go ahead.
Oh, I thought it went great. It was very informative. One thing that caught my attention too, that I didn't even think to ask about, or it did briefly, was, so you mentioned having an ENS name to make it easier to remember your wallet address. I don't know how many times I have some. I never use them. Anytime I have, they always end up asking for the full thing. Which I think that used to be because, like, a lot of platforms, they didn't recognize that. They couldn't convert it, or it was because I had Polygon in MetaMask, same wallet, but ENS names didn't differentiate that. As far as I know, they do now. So, but
it's always those things. Whenever they leave, you're like, I had that one question.
Oh, DM him. He's open.
Like, watch, he pops right back in. No.
I would love to have him come back and talk about those tools. A lot of the tools. there.
Yeah, and if Askar, if you are listening, there are some other Twitter Spaces that I think your message would really go well on. I know All Things Crypto with Dave would be a really great show if you're still watching, Askar. And maybe D can send you the DM on that as well. But shout out to Askar from Fairside. Shout out to also Richard. We appreciate you, man. I see you cheerleading in the chats right there. Shout out to our audience right there. Before we get to Metabeast segment of the show, which is Virtual Destinations, where he's going to be talking about Decentraland, guys, we will be right back after this commercial break. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but the Real Uncommon podcast is no longer around. That's because that show has been shelved and we have reorganized as True Media Group. You guys will be seeing a rebranding across the board in the few weeks or so. We are slowly rolling out what we're doing here at True Media Group. I know people have been asking what it's all about, and when the time is right, we will let you guys know. But for now, you guys can see we have 7 shows. 5 shows that are various throughout the Web3 space, as well as 2 segmented shows. And we're going to show you one right now with our co-host Metabeast. So Metabeast, before we get to your show, kind of explain to people what's going on, or do you want to just roll into your segment right now?
I'll give them a brief one, but first I want to say that was a fantastic little commercial there. You guys put together. That was pretty cool. So, all right. Well, yep. I'm Metabeast, also known as One Existence, and I do say that in particular tonight because on Virtual Destinations, I'm going to be taking you guys to what I kind of consider my home metaverse. It's a big one, so to speak, in metaverse terms, I guess, or the way that's going right now. But it's been around, and it's one of the more known. And that would be Decentraland, which I went into. I'm coming in on my 3rd year.
Wow, awesome.
I remember dropping in. Their music festivals is what used to attract people, which I did drop.
Well, Metabeast, before you continue, you sure you don't want to talk about this in your segment? Part of what we're doing for Metabeast right here is we're giving him like a little pocket show for himself. So, you know, whenever we clip it for you, you can actually, people can understand it. So it's really up to you. I just wanted to make, I mean, it makes for good content on your side of the pond. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll be right back and we'll talk about everything Decentraland in just a minute. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome to Virtual Destinations. This is Metabeast's segmented show. And today, guys, he's going to take us on a journey to Decentraland. So we're going to give the mic to Metabeast right now. Metabeast, why don't you tell the audience what Decentraland's about? I know you kind of gave it a little bit of a description prior to us transitioning here, but give them an idea of your home metaverse, how long it's been around. We went and saw Second Life last week, so kind of give us the skinny on what we're about to see.
Well, Decentraland is probably the second oldest or longest running one. It's like kind of like being in the real world. You can walk the entire the whole space, the whole metaverse. It would take a while to do so. I believe some people have. I've ran up and down it, or at least up and down it, not all the way around it. But I started off just exploring, seeing the cool things that people were building out there, and which led to some co-hosting some art on Wednesdays for Wearable Wednesdays, which is in regards to avatar clothes, wearables, and which they just had the Metaverse Fashion Week just finished. And then also on Fridays, we do NFT Fridays, and we talk with the artists and see their works, and they would give them an opportunity to tell us a little bit about it, which led me to meeting a bunch of cool people. It's a pretty passionate community.
I think there's a lot of passionate communities in the Web3 space.
Well, yeah, you know what? Don't we all say that about our community, don't we? But I am in Decentraland. If you are ready to,
yeah.
My screen.
Definitely, guys. Here we go. Let's take a trip to Decentraland.
Now, like Second Life, it is a client-based. So that there is a download. Once upon a time, it was purely web browser. The graphics has changed a lot. It's still a little bit cartoony, but
I get the Nintendo vibes off of it.
Oh, but there's some amazing builds out there. So if you download,
is that a portal?
It's a pool. It's a whirlpool.
No, I mean that's like a portal though.
No, kinda. It takes you down below. I'll show you here.
All right.
But this is where you first come in, and you'll find where people. You got find people. That's where some of the more popular places are at that particular time. The events that are going on, which while I'm here, I'm going to show you real quick. And then we got best rated, because I have been working the past several weeks. Oh, it better be on here.
I know you're getting that, man. I can't wait to see this.
Oh, it's tops. Anyway.
It's exciting.
I know. Been working on an Easter egg hunt for Easter, which starts on the 20th, and the event ends on the day before. But every weekend there is a Decentraland community building X space. If anybody's curious, you can stop in there. It starts at noon Eastern, and it can run for several hours. And you can click on any of those. It'll take you to any of those events or places. But if you drop down the waterfall or the whirlpool, this will take you to.
That's nuts.
That is badass.
That is so cool.
DV, take notes, please. That's badass.
And you can. They'll give you some information. They'll try to help you out.
Is that a squid at the bar?
That is it's both.
Oh,
it's a man with a squid on his head.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Pause.
Oh, I see the guy. He just got swallowed.
Oh, he talks that way too. Look, it's almost like Zelda.
All right.
That's cool. I'll be right back.
There we go. Skip. All right. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so when you were up on the top showing us, the the people's page and help thing, you were saying like the top rated, so people can actually go in other people's spaces and like rate them
Yep.
on how their space is.
Yep. And I will
Cool.
show you that here in a minute. All right. That's going to keep going. So
Whoa,
the menu, you got your map, which you can click on, and it'll open up.
Whoa.
And you can see this is all new. We have water.
Whoa. Oh, so this square is what all of Decentraland.
This is all of Decentraland. Yep.
Wow.
And it seems small, but it's really not.
Yeah.
You got all the different,
Cool.
some different categories. You can find different places to go visit.
This is cool. Yeah, it's almost like a Google, you know, when you search Google for like restaurants near me or something like that.
Mhm.
That is so cool.
And I was actually going through and cleaning up my favorites list here. You got most active again, best rated, and newest is one thing. You can click anywhere on the map and it will bring up this side thing, give you a little bit of the description depending on how much the person who built that space provides, and then you can click jump in and portal there right away. You'll notice
That's cool.
You'll notice all these stars across the board.
Mm-hmm.
They are, so there's a DAO involved as well. And you can submit a proposal to have your spot in Decentraland a POI, a point of interest. There's been a lot of debate and talks on what you need, what is the requirement should be to make that. I've actually was involved with one of the proposals to actually add categories for the POIs. So something that could have it has a historical aspect to it. It could be applied for and get a POI, or if there's usually everybody had their own kind of different ideas of what a POI, what constituted having a POI, and it was usually throwing events all the time. Well, after all this discussion, I made the suggestion of categories, and it's got one more step to go to become official, but I've done a few proposals in the DAO.
Don't lie, you're a godfather in the Decentraland. Come on.
And these are some games that they highlight. They change because I should show people. I gotta close this. Up here, you'll see a little box with a question mark, and there are daily quests you can do to earn wearables and emotes. So right now it's 5,000 points on ColourPop, level 3 on Liquid Labyrinth. But those are the games, those purple boxes that I showed you. You complete those 3, and I'm guessing that's a emote that you would get. And those change from time to time. You have notifications. That's the map again too. But here's the fun one, your backpack.
Okay.
This is where you have every avatar has defaults. There's male, female. Currently, that's all they have. There has been much discussion in the DAOs and wants for a bit wider of a range, but you can change your hair, eyes, shirt, and this is my Easter wearable that I had somebody make for me to be given away for the first 100 participants of the hunt.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And this guy on my shoulder.
Yeah, what is that?
That's my proudest one. So they introduced a new category in the wearables, exotic. So there's legendary, mythic, and that's the number of wearables available. So you got 1, 10, then it went 100, then 1,000. Well, they introduced a new one, exotic, and that's only a total of 50 of these were made. I worked with a person by the name of Nikki Fuego, who made it for we came to an arrangement, and she made it for me. It sold out. I was very proud. But I call it the Galactic Companion, and I hope to add some more utility to it sometime down the road when my skills get better and things are, you can do more within Decentraland. But they have a whole marketplace where you can buy all kinds of different wearables and emotes, which would be like this.
See, I love emotes. I remember emotes from Spatial.
Oh, Spatial.
Yeah.
Which I had one made for me too. This is the Tootsie Roll. So,
you know what I love about Decentraland, not to cut you off, was like you have all the multimedia features in there. You have the streaming boards, you have the emotes, you guys can actually host concerts in Decentraland, fashion shows. I like that. There's other metaverses that projects we're involved that they're just starting, but you guys are kind of like the trailblazers and a template, if anything, on where they can be in the future. But you guys are tried and true and reliable, in my opinion. And by the way, guys, we're going to attempt to live stream in there. I haven't forgotten about our conversation, Metabeast, so I'm working on our virtual server for that. But there's a little back-end stuff I got to do over here at True Media Group, but it's possible, and I can't wait to do that collab when it comes to that.
And I have plenty of space. I have a few places it can be done. And it was mentioned one of the plazas could possibly do it too. So you might be able to do it in multiple locations within Decentraland all at the same time. So
that's what
and
of
course it would, I'm sorry, D. Of course, it would become an event that would be posted on the events page that I showed you earlier.
And that's cool. Like, you guys probably have your own central hubs and stuff like that. And I like that. I like that there's a place where, everyone can culminate together, like a town square, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's several places that do that. So and this is real quick. This is the camera. You can take some pictures. The camera option is pretty cool. And then you got your settings. It can get a little resource intensive. So I do want to mention this. If you do come in and you're having a little bit of problems, you can adjust your resolution, memory. They used to have a whole bunch more here, but changing your scene distance and your environment distance, bringing that down a little bit, or just selecting low might provide you a better experience sometimes.
So essentially,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, D.
Go ahead, D.
No, so it's kind of similar to like the VV's one where you choose a performance and you bring it down to like help you better stream.
Yes, and that was my question. Like, what is the minimum requirements for hardware in order to make this functionable? Like, RAM is the most important part, in my opinion, out of any machine versus everything else. But what does it take? What is the minimum requirements? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head. I can tell you I have 40 gigabytes RAM.
Well, you got no problems.
I was gonna
say you would think so. But sometimes not so much. But yeah, it drastically helps a lot.
Well, plus your video card and your processor also helps as well.
True.
Yeah.
I've had 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it would work.
Yeah.
A lot of times it would work fairly well, but then every once in a while, not so much.
Yeah.
I know, Richard, 40. I'm over here with 32. I'm like, dang. You know?
I want to point out this portal thing reminds me of Star Trek. You know, when you're
Like a
beaming.
transporter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like this is so cool.
I got a question. Is there like a Star Trek world in Decentraland? Did someone come up with that?
Not. I wouldn't say Star Trek
Ooh.
specifically, but
Hmm.
Like,
it
dude, is there like
surprises
themed
me.
worlds like that?
I'll show you.
Could
Try to
probably
show you a
search
few
for it.
things.
Okay.
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 This is cool.
You
Yeah.
can change your time of day.
Oh.
Oh, that is neat.
Nice. Yes.
I like that.
I'm
yeah.
inside, so you don't see the full effect of it, but
You could
and
see
here's
though.
my-
You could
You
tell.
can see the outside too change, like where the
Here's
red
my-
trees are.
here's my emotes. There's a quick board. I have more than that, but there we go. And you can go back up, beaming up, but real
Beaming
quick, I'll
up,
show
so
you
cool.
That is
right
cool.
outside here. This is a lot of this doesn't get used, which we complain about, but there's also the foundation, which is the people who initially built Decentraland, which I had the honor and privilege of getting to meet them in Argentina just last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It was an awesome IRL meetup, and I got to meet some people from that I've interacted with in Decentraland for quite some time.
So cool.
But they have all this stuff down here that never gets used. There used to be a museum of sorts, which may still be here. They got auditoriums. What they have done an event here when they introduced a new type of emote and stuff. But this is a fun little place just to run around and check out. But I'm going to jump here. Trying to think if there's anything else.
Are we gonna get a sneak peek of the eggs?
You might get to see something here.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take you to right now. I'm gonna take you. This is where the event's gonna start.
Okay.
And I have to shout out a person by the name of Lastrum, who has a NFT project called The Last Slice. He's created. So if you
Must like pie.
you can buy a Decentraland name, and which I own one existence, and you can tell the difference because anybody who doesn't, you can put a name in, but you're going to have like 4 characters that follow it. So you can tell if somebody owns their name or not. But
what's that grid?
With your name comes a world, a Decentraland world as well, which you can build on, and the restrictions there to build are less. This is, I don't know why it does this. That's how he has it set up. But you can rent land from here currently for 2 weeks at a time, which is what I have done. And I'm trying to put together a build that's going to be where you come to start the Easter event and see the map of where you go to find eggs. But he's got a whole cool thing set up here, cyberpunk shops as well.
So I had a question about renting a piece of land or space. So how much does that cost, or does it depend on the location in Decentraland, and also does it depend on who's the renter?
Absolutely, many factors. If you rent it from here, like it's 2 weeks is the max for now, but it's free. You can do it for free. You can go to the marketplace and look to purchase, which is relatively cheap in compared to a long time. It's pretty cheap. It's around $100 or so. anyway,
Is he stuck?
you can also rent there, but there are many people who in Decentraland, if you just get to know people, and if you're interested in building, there's many that will give you building rights on their land and let you build.
Okay.
And for whatever
So when you talk,
however long they agree to it.
Yeah.
What's that?
When you talk about build, so like right now I'm looking at a map, right? So specifically when you build, you have like a piece of land that either you can rent, someone donates where you can build on, or, for a time, or you own yourself. But specifically when you build, are you building buildings? What's the definition of build here for us?
Good question. So there's many different things. People build 3D models in Blender, or I think Maya, and there's another one, Daz, I think it is. Some people you can buy them off like Sketchfab. There's the Blender marketplace as well, and a lot of them you can get some free 3D objects. In Decentraland, they have to be GLB, and there is a kind of a tight rules as to how big something can be. Basically, if you can build in Decentraland, my understanding is you can build anywhere. And
so there's a set of parameters that you got to work with in order to build within Decentraland.
Well, so if you look, this here is one parcel of land.
Okay.
It's like 16 meters by 16 meters. And you can have 10,000 triangles, which is not a lot. And then I don't remember the you can maybe have 4 or 6 materials, and like 15 megabytes file size, just to kind of give an idea.
Interesting.
But over here is an area that I have some of my land, and Kanessa, who's one of the people that runs or is a founder of the community building Decentraland that has their X Space on Saturdays, has a build over here, and so does her co-host or vice versa, Sinful Meat Stick. This is kind of slow. I don't know why, but they both have land over here. I do. My friend Old Guy Barbecue has some land over here.
Old Guy Barbecue?
Old Guy Barbecue. Barbecue. Come on. Don't do this to me.
Must be that AOL dial-up of yours.
I know, right? So I'm getting 300 megabytes or whatever when I do a test, or when I test it.
Oh, speed test? Yeah.
So it's not. That's the whole thing. Oh, come on.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes things don't want to work. So while we're waiting for the transition here, what is the occupancy in Decentraland? Like the community-wise, how much people are active inside of Decentraland in a day?
Well, once upon a time, about a year or two ago, if you would have asked CoinDesk, I believe it was, who wrote an article stating 38 daily users in Decentraland.
38.
Oh, we had a heyday with that because it wasn't a significant.
Was he missing a couple zeros?
They lost a bunch of zeros.
Well, no, I wouldn't go quite that far. But it was a good bit more than that.
You got an error, by the way.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. There's even a T-shirt, which I have one of them. I only have 37 friends. I only have 37 friends.
Okay.
In regards to that,
That's a good one.
We actually tried to an artist by the name of Rustan.
Oh yeah.
He actually he had an idea. He and reached out to them, and I think we were going to try and we wanted to do something, you know, jokingly about it. I think for a pizza day or something, but they never got back to us. So, but I think they did a or what is it called when you go back on an article that you wrote?
Retract?
Something like that, yeah.
Or renege?
That's a retract.
Retract, I think, yes.
Yeah, I think you got it right there, D.
Retracted on that. So.
But you never asked my question. Like you said 38, but like how much people are actually active users in there? You're retracting, my friend.
No, I don't know an official total. There's been a lot of talk about that too. How do you actually determine how many active users? There has been, I don't know if the website is still out there, but a metrics where you could see how many people had been running around within the server. Sometimes people just AFK there too. So I remember I was one of the top 10 for places for traveling, going around checking things out.
Yeah,
because I was having fun doing that. I wanted to see what people were building out there.
Yeah,
and I'm right back where I started.
Sometimes it happens, Metabeast. Sometimes even with 40 gigs of RAM, guys, it happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm bad at that stuff.
No. I was gonna say if I got a few more minutes, I will try to get back in there because I wanted to show you one of the Easter builds, and I was gonna show you where the community building Decentraland hangs out.
Yeah, no problem. I think a good correlation would be like maybe on X, right? Because crypto Twitter is kind of like where Web3 hangs out. What is like maybe a good frequency of people that attend like a Decentraland space or a Decentraland live stream? That would give us a good correlation of how much people are in there.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's the thing. There's maybe 20-ish.
Like Janie Park had like a Twitter space, I remember, just like last week, and it had to do with the fashion show, right? And so even the fashion show, how much people attended that gives us a good idea of the number, right?
Well, here's the thing. That has happened in the past too. These big events come and it brings all these people in, but the question is how many of them come back? Because
so here's the day, gone tomorrow, kind of a thing.
Pretty much, yes. I mean, if some of us will say, if I got one person that I met that keeps coming back, that's a succase.
Yeah.
Which in a way it is. It's it can be an acquired taste. When I came in, I did get kind of tired of the parties, as you said. It was a lot of just DJ events, and people emoting and chatting. I want something more, which I want to bring storytelling in somehow, some way. So this is La Cantina.
Nice.
This is yours?
Nope, this is a Canessa.
Oh, okay.
I have one on the other side, but this is a build where
did we lose him? I think we lost Metabeast, guys.
He's in Decentraland.
We lost him in Decentraland, guys. He got lost in the sauce. And we also have TNT that says, I started in Decentraland, didn't last long. It felt so empty. Everyone was at the fashion show. Hey, there you go. That means a lot of people was at the fashion show. And guys, I think Metabeast dial-up modem kind of got the fritz on him. That's what happens when you choose AOL, my friend. I'm just kidding.
He needs the beep beep.
Yeah, and we're in his segment too, right? Oh, we could run his own show, D. That's crazy. Well, okay, we're gonna give him a little bit of a do there and make sure that he's not frozen like that. Metabeast, you're gonna have to probably come back, and there he goes, guys.
Oh, there he goes.
There we go. So D, since we're over here, and this is like ad-libbing right here, what do you think of Decentraland? We're from Vivi, guys. So we've just recently got into their virtual world called the Viviverse. So it kind of this kind of harkens for us a little bit, but it sounds like Decentraland's been around for a while, and the host is back. There he is.
Guys, he's back.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Doubt.
The wind was blowing a lot.
I'm gonna wrap up here too. But what were you saying about? Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Oh no! We were just kind of ad-libbing before you come back, where we're like, basically, like, what did we think about Decentraland? Because we come from Vivi, right? And we've recently gotten into their virtual world, which is the Viviverse, and it's a little bit different because it's more of like a build as you go kind of a thing, and you get to like interact with your collectibles. This is more of like a open world where there's people in it already. Sounds like there's kind of like a handful of you guys in there, depending on the day or the event. And then, it sounds like you guys have all the dynamics that Vivi wants to be. You can buy and rent land. You can, do a bunch of content creation there. And, you can basically interact and have an experience. And that's what everyone's kind of looking for. Ever since we went through CV19, everyone's been looking for different type of experience, whether it's virtual or even just a connection socially with different people. And I think you found that. You basically told us that this is your home base, right? Like us, our home base for this type of environment is like maybe the Viviverse right now. And who knows, it could be something else. It could be maybe Futureverse or whatever other experience that comes after that. And it looks like he's back as well. So let's add that to the stage, guys.
And keep in mind, they were building, I think they started in like around 2017 and land sales around 2019, 2020, I believe. So they've been building, and that's one of the things is all these other metaverse platforms have came up, but Decentraland has always had at least an aspect of everything. Some might excel at this or that, but Decentraland had all of it almost.
Yeah.
So
and it sounds like it.
And right behind Canessa, the La Cantina, is just a little build I put together. Maybe not come here unless you like to be harassed by that guy.
Who is that?
SpongeBob.
Because he will chase. He will chase.
Is that
you.
like your watchdog?
No, I just thought it was funny to have him
follow you around.
Just go and follow you.
And
okay, so you have different IP in here as well. You have different like branded IPs in this space.
You can't hear it.
Or is that a bootleg? Is that a bootleg SpongeBob?
I don't. Yeah, I don't
it's
know where
a Temu version.
It's a bootleg SpongeBob. Where's Arcade?
Right
Arcade, look, it's a bootleg SpongeBob. Arcade. That's following you. Let's feed a creeper.
He won't follow you. He won't follow off his land, off my land.
The grid. Okay.
That's as far as he can go.
He's a bootleg watchdog.
Shoot. I have another build around here. Oh, here we go. This is one of old guys. And it's going to be, he wants it to be a museum.
Okay.
Ooh,
and it's
kind of,
it resembles it, it's a like the Decentraland logo, the two pyramids and the two suns.
Oh, the sun. Sorry, I said moon.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, that makes a bunch of sands.
Very cool.
And I'm gonna jump over. Where am I?
And I gotta tell you, Metabeast, a lot of people are liking your segment. There's 200 plus eyeballs watching you right now.
You're kidding me.
I'm not.
That's crazy. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's. I hope you guys are enjoying this.
I'll take a screenshot.
Anybody ever has questions to ask or hit me up. Where am I? I know I'm here. He said he could jump. He said he could jump to mine.
So TNT says, didn't Mana, the token, get talked in Shark Tank or one of those actors?
That I'm not familiar with.
Interesting though. Shark
Okay,
Tank.
so here's
Oh.
a sneak Easter
That's cool.
Ooh.
peek. This is mine. And as you come in, there's this guy.
Ooh.
He looks like Luda from is it Luda or Ludo from Labyrinth?
Yeah, Ludo.
Oh, it's a troll.
Yeah.
Does
And
he
would
get
you-
bigger?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Is he ready to lay eggs? Is
He's
he gonna
trolling.
lay eggs?
He's
He's here
trolling.
to guard the eggs.
The troll is the troll's
Yeah.
guarding the eggs. Those are some big eggs. How are you supposed to hide those big eggs, Metabeast?
Well, they're not hidden. They're just behind.
I like this
behind a
multicolored
fence.
one. That's really. I like that one.
This
It's beautiful.
these are actually a special collection too. So there's a project called the Crypto Fish,
Mhm.
which is by a talented artist. I wish he could get more traction, but all the fish are designed with what he calls a meta style, and owning a crypto fish gives you access to all these meta styles, which are different patterns and stuff, and you're free to use them to create another project or whatever. And I thought it would be a great time to use some of them and put them on eggs.
So basically, assets offer utility that unlock different type of features that give you other utility. Huh, guys? Wouldn't that be cool for other projects?
Yeah. And what is that thing up on the top? Looks like a honeycomb thing up in the sky.
That
there's like this square grid in the sky.
I think
Yeah,
I think that's above Old Guys. It's a I guess I think it's a platform.
It's like a Truman Show thing, right? Where that's the real sky.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that might be why
he's going for.
Put that design on it. Could very well be. That's
it's gonna break the barrier under the dome.
So Metabeast, are people going to be like hunting for these eggs? Is there like a challenge? Like, what's the experience behind the egg hunt?
Okay, so it's going to be whoever finds the most eggs in the quickest time, and that part of the event lasts 24 hours. It starts 0500 UTC on Easter morning, which is 9 or 10 o'clock PST, and it goes for 24 hours. And I am not giving out exact coordinates. One of the purposes of this event, and this is a first of its kind too. I'm very proud to be a part of.
How long did it make you build it? How long did it take to build it?
Well, see, that's the thing. It involves many different community members who own land. And all of them have gotten an egg. And as I was talking about Livestream earlier, he has made it so a person can create a quest. And given everybody, people get some codes, they attach it to their egg, and that allows this quest to span across Decentraland. You couldn't do something like this before. It would have been yet people have to take a selfie with each egg. I was not doing that.
It's a lot of vetting.
But he's made it for this, and he's helped make it as simple as possible so that even people who don't have building skills, if they have land and all they want to do is be able to at least put an egg on their land so they can be a part of this event, they can. And another aspect is that those who can create, they have the freedom to do whatever they want around their egg. They can make it easy, they can make it difficult. I've even said somebody can make it impossible to get their egg if they wanted to. And so they can build whatever they want. So you're going to see a lot of different builds. Some may be Easter themed, some may not.
Yeah.
I know there's one up north here that's got a little special Easter theme going, like around the origin of Easter, so to speak. But yeah, so that's one of the amazing things. But it's also to get people to explore Decentraland. So what's going to be at Angzar Plaza for the start is going to be a representation of the map of Decentraland, and areas will be circled or highlighted, and there'll be a number inside it with the number of eggs you can find within that area. So you'll have to. Okay. So I thought about nothing like that, but then the more I thought about it, that's a lot of places. That's a lot to cover. So I thought, okay, let's do areas. This gets people out to explore because they're not going to know the exact coordinates to go to. So they're going to see a bit of Decentraland. I will give some exact coordinates to some of the ones I know that people are making, like a parkour or something harder to do. But yeah, that's the beauty of it. For just as many people who has wanted to be a part of it could, and as easy or as difficult as they want it to be. And over here, this is another one of mine.
Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. With that dragon?
Yes.
That is awesome. He's that.
Now, would you believe that the troll and this dragon are both AI?
No. So
no,
that was
say
question
what?
from Richard. Richard asked, so the troll is a 3D file brought in?
Yes. But made by AI.
Ah, okay.
Even. And remember,
what'd you use?
Remember, so this is 3 parcels. It's a relatively low poly or tri count on that one. I used, and I would love to say I used Altered State, but no, I cannot say that. I've not had as great as luck, I guess, as Buildo. And I using pictures even.
Yeah.
I've came across this. This was suggested. If you go look at some of the documentation through the Decentraland docs on learning to build and such. This is one of them recommended, called Tripo.
Yeah.
And I believe the troll was made here as well as the dragon. And
what I love about cruising in Decentraland that I've noticed is how fluid it is just on this live stream. You know what I mean? Sometimes depending on the experience, it can be janky, even when we're trying to show it to the audience. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, except for the one little bit there where it wasn't loading.
Well, okay. Well, we don't want to show any of that.
Hey, it's real. Remember, real.
Yeah, but we don't need anyone to see your email.
I don't. Oh, that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I just made sure I hide your screen right there. TNT for Blender and publishing models. I read it is 100. Is this right?
What is it? What's that?
So he says right here for Blender and publishing models, is it like $100? Is this right?
Okay, so that I think what he's talking about is possibly the wearables and the emotes.
He says I was looking into modeling for it for Decentraland.
You can create and build or make anything you want on your land. Now, when it comes to wearables and the emotes, there is a curation. That the people that are part of the curation, they receive a portion of the fees. So yes, currently there is $100 fee. You have to submit it through the curation. They make sure that it fits the standards, and they're also supposed to check for copyright.
Cases, it's super helpful what you just said.
Okay, good. So yes, it's for that only. Any like this, I bought my land. I can put this on here. If I bought the 3D object, if I made it myself or I had AI do it, it doesn't matter as long as I don't go over the try count and such. So, but there are ways around it. If you can code, if you know coding and can use visual, do visual code, you can bypass a lot of that too. I am told. I'm not a coder. And once again, my friend over here, oh God, barbecue.
He's the barbecue.
Is he had an event not too long ago, run a maze, and this parkour, which I hate. I'm not even going to touch it. I hate parkour. I've tried several times to make one for one of my plots for Easter, and I can't do it because I have to run it to make sure people can complete it, and I can't. I suck at them so bad.
I'm not good at doing obstacles either. Now, so I'm gonna just go off an assessment here from me. Like specifically, I like the interaction. I like the experience in terms of like the movement in Decentraland. I like all the features built in. Now I understand they've been around for a while. The one thing I'm just not keen on is the visuals. It reminds me of Nintendo versus me personally.
No. I agree. I don't care for the abundant. It's not that I don't like pink, but I'm just not thrilled with the overabundance of pink.
Yeah. Like that's how Decentraland is. It's just very pink and orange everywhere.
It is right now. As people build stuff, a lot of it will not be quite so much, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just very bright colors.
You are not alone in that.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I haven't been in a lot. I mean, I'm looking forward to trying different things. We were in Second Life, and that reminded me kind of like, say, like an early version of Grand Theft Auto, as in the movement experience, the look. Now the VVverse to me, that reminds me of like. For me, there's a lot of realism in it from a virtual perspective, like if for virtual world, but it doesn't have all these cool features. It doesn't. It's more janky in terms of what you can do here.
Yeah. Give them some time for one.
For sure. But, I mean, they're at 1.0, right?
They're pretty good. I'm rather impressed with what you can do. And it is cool to have your collectibles in there as well. That I think that is awesome. I think it's very cool. So,
and I just can suspect that they're aiming to be what Decentraland is, but in terms of having that feature functionality and more in the VVverse. But like overall, I'm really liking the movement and experience here in Decentraland. I like the features. I dig the content creation portion. I'm just not feeling the look. Oh, that's cool.
Don't go outside. And this would be Rustan, who is in real life is a body artist. He paints on people.
Okay, now that is cool. That just made me impressed right there. I like that.
Oh, how about this? Real quick.
And I like the waves too. Now that's what I mean. Like I dig the whole experience. I'm just maybe I just have to get in there and like really try it out.
I come in. I ignore the outside. Whatever. I just like to look around and see what people are actually building. So speaking of.
But I like that. I like the social media aspect, and that is something that is needed specifically. And like I like its open world, right? Versus VVverse, you only can have 30 people in your space. There's memory issues. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just went PG-13. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
that is oh, I thought I put it on. Yep, there we go. That's a body paint wearable that Rustan did.
Cool.
Just recently.
So cool.
Yeah,
So.
I love the waves back there. Can
Yes.
people surf? Can people surf in Decentraland?
You know what? If anybody can, he probably can. And you see, there's even a shark over there.
Oh, that is a shark. That's cool.
He's very talented. I mean, he's very talented, and he's in. He has some VVs. He's has some VVs. Yep.
He veeves.
He veeves.
Some BBs.
Yeah. Oh, remember that's
cool.
I met got Cloak and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Champ.
Yeah.
And
Rustan's art gallery
That's cool.
opening.
And shout out to Mr. Champ. I was supposed to actually meet him this past weekend, but my schedule changed a little bit.
That's right. They were in there. That's
they came to Hawaii. So, but kids got sick, so couldn't go for the day. But next time,
definitely next time we're meeting up with people. Yeah,
see, now that's cool right there. I dig that. Like, I'm digging the experience, and maybe I just got to get used to the look.
Well, they may be pink trees, but they're different pink trees, that's for sure. And I mean, there's the ocean, basically, so to speak.
Was that a sandbar? Is that a sandbar? Looks like in the middle, in the corner there.
Oh, that's a raft over there.
Hey, that looks like the rafts were back home.
There you go, D. You can get a plot in Decentraland and build a little tiny island of Yap and get a raft.
He must have made some changes, because I swear. Oh, there it is. I don't know how to get up there.
You can't fly?
No.
You can't fly in Decentraland?
No, they took that away from us.
What?
We have an ongoing joke. If it becomes too much fun, they take it away.
Oh wow!
Well, they just want you to exercise.
For you guys. You cannot have it.
You gotta walk everywhere.
Well, they did give us a speed walk now.
Oh, so you can be the Flash.
I forget. I got up there once before with my friend Sir Degen.
I really like the streaming boards. I think they're really cool right there. I think that's awesome. That's what I want to do in VVverse, is do live streams like that with like boards, have a little like a town hall where people can watch the content right there. And it looks like you guys have that option. That's cool.
Oh, I guess real quick then, at least one more thing to show. I mentioned the camera.
There, that's how you can fly. That's it.
I for pictures. Oops, except for I got lost. What's that?
Whoa.
Are you in the sky? Did you end up in the sky?
Oh, I'm outside.
Oh.
Has a bit of a reach. Here, let's do this.
Yeah, look at that.
So
interesting.
And see, I knew there was a shark up there. I just don't remember how to get up there. That is a
shark. Yo, that is cool.
Whoa, shark in the clouds?
Yep.
Come on, give us the fly mode.
Yeah, see, they brought wearables 2.0, or is that what they call them? I don't know. But the wearable allowed you to do certain other actions. So some could fly. There was shoes that made you run super fast or jump super high. All kinds of different things. And same with emotes. We're doing more than just movement. They had like confetti or other things that would occur as well.
Just give me the leaf from Super Mario 3 so I can like fly with my little tail up there, right? That's it.
Right? That's all I want to do is fly. And the thing was too is you could, on your build, you could disable that. So, if you had a game or something, people couldn't cheat, so to speak.
Mm.
You know, I don't know that this was a 2.0 as well, Witch's Broom.
Oh, I see. I was like, what's happening here?
Use it to fly to the sky.
Yeah, it's on a loop.
I see.
But yeah, he's got the cool fire. I mean, Rustam's, he does a lot of cool things. He's got several locations around here too.
That's cool.
This is the famous Lobsteropolis. You got to come see them. We're hoping they update because they got rid of the web browser, went client 2.0, and that's when a lot of things they gave us went away.
Yeah.
And a lot of the builds have to update to this new client, this SDK 7 or whatever. And there's a lot of people aren't around to do it, and it costs money.
Of course,
but the DAO has paid some a collection of people to assist and help people with bigger builds and stuff like this to get themselves upgraded, so they don't have to bear the cost. But this has been around. I would call it historic.
I see.
And I think I will leave it at that. It's probably gotten pretty late.
Yeah, this is cool.
Well, this was cool, Metabeast. I mean, like for me, I've never gotten to like tour Decentraland until right now. I'm sure there's 210 people now watching us. And I'm sure a lot of them have not seen this as well. So shout out to Decentraland and shout out to you, Metabeast. Final words for your segment.
Incredible.
It's free. You do have to download the client. You don't have to have a wallet. You can log in. There is an email option to log in now, which is cool. So yeah, they just had Metaverse Fashion Week. I got the Easter egg hunt coming up starting Sunday, and CBD, the Community Building Decentraland, is going to have a 3-year event coming up soon, which will be music and such. And we're all, if any of you listening are DJs and just want the experience of being able to perform in the metaverse, this is a great opportunity. They'll be looking for people who want to play. It's not something, it's something that they're just community members. They don't have tons of money either. And it is a community building Decentraland, so it's a community thing. Everybody gets together and contributes somehow, some way that wants to help make this event. So they will be looking for people who want to perform. So
cool.
Check them out on Saturday noon, CBD X Space, or you can reach me. I am AKC Metabeast on Twitter.
Right here, guys.
And so,
wrong one. Right
do they have a mobile version? Decentraland?
Okay, they do.
Okay.
That is not something the foundation has done. They got an Easter event too. Sorry.
Squirrel.
Somebody applied for a grant to start creating that, as well as the VR, virtual reality part. Now, currently, it's like a test flight on iPhone. Which, if somebody's interested and wants it, I can probably get them the link to it to join up. But you can't interact with people who are on the client if you're on the mobile. But the mobile is pretty cool, actually. I was rather impressed. It actually, I had better success signing in for a period of time on that and had better experiences. Although there was not many people around, but there are people on there. So some people still use the old web browser too, which is
Yeah.
The same thing. They can't interact with people on the client, but that won't be around for much longer. So if I had time, I would show people building a little, but I don't even know what time it is, but I'm sure it's kind of late.
We'll have to probably
We can do
have
it next
part
time.
2 with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, revisit. My plan is next Tuesday, is to visit another one of the top platforms that people may or may not have heard of. One called Crypto Voxels.
I've never heard of that, man.
No?
Crypto Voxels.
Yep. You thought this was, you thought kind of Mario here. I think there you're really going to think Mario.
Okay.
Because early Mario anyway.
Oh.
You know what I like though about your segment
blocky.
here is it's very blocky, like almost like Minecraft ish.
Yes. That's what a voxel is.
Okay.
Basically,
And,
so yeah.
But what I like about your segment is like there are worlds I've never seen. I've never heard of Second Life before until you showed it to us. And this, what is this other one called again?
Next week will be Crypto Voxels.
Crypto Voxels.
Oh, you're
never
gonna hear.
Before.
So you're gonna hear the man who sold the world from me. It's going to be on my list. You're gonna hear Substrata is on my list. And I'm pretty sure you probably haven't heard of them. Everdome and Expectar.
Everdome.
Ecoverse.
You're not pulling it out of your hat here, right?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I challenge anyone to find an AI that can find half the ones I know. Because I have tried numerous ones to help me put it together, even though I have a list of my own. They can't do it. They don't do it. They just.
It's a test for my AI, D.
That's what I call it. You want to test your AI? They ain't AI if they can't deep research and find this stuff.
Okay. All right.
The man who sold the world, even I told it the web address, and it still kept coming back and saying how it was Billy, or shoot, the name skips my mind, but it's a song by somebody.
Oh, okay.
It refused to consider it a metaverse, an actual metaverse.
Well, you know, AI they've got testing. There's more testing involved with there. But Metabeast, closing thoughts on your segment.
Like I said, come by, check out Decentraland. Great time to do it is for Easter. While there is a prizes for the first 24 hours for the quickest and most, it's going to, because everybody put so much work into it, we're going to let it run through like at least Wednesday, so you can still at least experience it and get a chance to explore the world. So and as I always do, I will say, be safe and be well and be you. Thank you. Guys.
Awesome.
Wow, this has been an action-packed episode of Future Watch. We had Askar from Fairside on. We had a lot of great questions to ask him. We learned a lot about crypto wallet insurance, as well as we got to take a venture into Decentraland on virtual destinations. And it's becoming a very, very hot show, my friend. You're becoming really, you're becoming a star here. So, and I love that. That's the whole point of this segment right here. You have 215 eyeballs watching. Once again, everybody, I want you to give Metabeast a follow right here. If you have any questions about Decentraland or his show, Virtual Destinations, go give him a follow and, you know, shoot him a DM if you want to learn anything. He's also One Existence right here as well. Also, I want to give a shout out to Janie Park because she also did some coverage on Decentraland. And lastly, I have to shout out Dave and All Things Crypto, and also Metabeast is a co-host on there as well. You guys had a really awesome space today. You guys had the founder of Futureverse. I was able to get in there. I missed the first half hour work, obviously, but like this was a really spectacular space. There was a lot of I think there was a lot of Easter eggs he threw in there, and this conversation blew my mind. So guys, give Dave a follow right here as well on X, and go check out all things crypto along with the squad right there. And that's it, you guys.
Speaking of
Future Watch,
there, he said there was something big they were announcing sometime tonight. I'm wondering if they did that yet.
Well, you know what's so funny about that is I heard a thing about the bat signal.
Something about a bat, right?
Something about a bat, you guys.
I love bats.
Bats in the belfry.
Might be bat out of hell. We may not know. You know what I mean?
Some meatloaf. Hell yeah.
I mean, the cows must be like crazy these days.
And that's the other thing. So I have access now to a brand new one. Well, Bildo was step ahead of me, but Readyverse will be coming on the list eventually too, which is part of the Futureverse.
I'm so jelly. That's right. Heed the call, baby. Let's go. I am jelly because I need to. I understand now what I need to do to get involved in here. I need to get a pass first. I think D, you said you had a pass, but I need to get a pass.
Future Pass is free too.
Yes, I need to sign up for a pass, but I need to get me one of them brains. I need to get me one. I need to get a bunny. I have an idea of what I need to do
bears,
to interact.
Bears. That was so funny. Sorry.
No, it wasn't. I came this close. This close.
That was, mouth
shut. Guys, this has been an awesome episode. Metabeast, you kind of said your final words, but if you want to say something else before we close out, that's up to you, my friend.
Nope. Well, yeah, I appreciate those of you that stick around or just come and watch. I hope you guys enjoy it and learn something too about all the different worlds out there, which someday all connected. That's how I vision the metaverse.
Yeah.
So
let's
have
go,
a good night.
you guys.
Thank you.
And you know what? I think people do, because there are 216 eyeballs watching right now. So shout out to Virtual Destinations. Shout out to Metabeast. Shout out to Askar from Fairside. Shout out to Richard, who is an ambassador for Fairside. Shout out to Key Comics for sponsoring BV Radio. Let's go, guys. D, close out the show.
And thank you, guys.
Of course.
Thank you, Metabeast, for your time and coming on and showing us other worlds out there in the metaverses. It's always really cool to learn about, different stuff. So
it's my passion and it's what I've wanted to do. So
yeah, and thank you for doing that. I'm sure like people that come and watch appreciate that, because half the stuff that you listed off, I'm like, no, I've never heard of any of that. Well, just the one, the man who rules the world. Wait, what was it?
The man who sold the world.
Who sold the world? Yeah, I've heard you mention it a few times, but like I don't know what that is. So yeah, very. It's always exciting every week to see where you're gonna take us in the metaverse. So thank you for doing that, and good luck to your egg hunt. That's gonna be really cool for the people that can experience it. And great job for being your first time doing that. You're setting a trend, so many more events to come for you in building in Decentraland. And just want to give also a big shout out to Askar for coming on and teaching us about Fairside. And thank you to the chats for being here, watching, supporting, and just enjoying the ride and learning along the way with us. So
we back at we back at 7 next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me double check my schedule. It's my schedule screwed me up this week. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
All right.
So we will be back.
They all know too.
Huh?
So that they all know too.
Yes. We will be back at our regular scheduled time, which is an hour earlier than we did today, and it was my fault. Shout out to Askar for pushing his schedule back. He looked very tired, and I know he said that he had to deal with the tax man. So do we. So let's go, guys. This has been Future Watch, episode 4. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I hope you guys are enjoying the format. This is something we like to do. And stay tuned for more stuff from True Media Group. Guys, take care. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Aloha.
Bye.
It's the future we hold.